Greg Popovich just informed the media that Kawhi Leonard is out tonight. Jonathan Simmons starting in his place. What does that tell you about the significance of this injury that Kawhi would miss such a critical game? Even if they got Game 7 in their back pocket, he must be really hurt that he's not going tonight, right?
Absolutely. And if you look at the landscape of the NBA over the past 15 to 20 years, the San Antonio Spurs were one of the first franchises who always played it safe as it related to making sure players got their rest, making sure players weren't out there on the floor that were hobbled. And we saw Kawhi continue to play, and he clearly wasn't himself. They know they have a Game 7. They know that the team is still going to go out and be competitive. They won't beat the Houston Rockets without him in uniform. But, man, it's going to be terrific to have a Game 7 when he is back, because watching him walk, it looks like if everything depended on it, he could go, a la Isaiah Thomas back in the day.
Right.
And I know Jamel Hill remembers that versus the Lakers. But you don't need that heroic performance from him today.
Well, Pop said it was his call, that Kawhi obviously wants to play, competitor that he is, but Pop said it was his call to hold him back. Jamel, what do you think about that?
Yeah, because I think that we discussed this earlier, Jalen. I think that Pop was going to try to take the short-term view and the long-term view at the same time. They're thinking we have Game 7. And, look, I know it's dangerous.
I don't understand.
I think that's part of it, because I've got to think that if he were completely uncompromised, and I don't think he is, I would think that he would play. But I think he's also looking ahead a little bit and saying, okay, if we have 50% Kawhi now, but we could have 70 or 80% Kawhi for Game 7, that might be the more important battle to pick.
Jalen, I think this is about the Spurs culture, as in they practice during the regular season, and even you saw it in the end of the fourth quarter and overtime in Game 5 on the road when they could have lost that swing game. They're so accustomed to playing everybody and having contributions from everybody and next man up mentality until I think Kawhi just can't go. They still have every design on winning this game, but he can't go tonight. I don't think Pop's thinking about Game 7. He wants to end this now, but Kawhi just can't give him anything more than what he thinks he can get from Jonathan Simmons and others playing more minutes in his place. Where you stand on this?
I agree with both of you guys, and here's another way to look at it. First off, the San Antonio Spurs, as you mentioned, have built a culture of next man up. And you will see Manu Ginobili, Jonathan Simmons, Patty Mills, all of those guys need to play better roles. Also, Danny Green, who was able to be effective late in the previous ball game. But here's another way to look at it. They have a game Sunday regardless. Okay, so say Kawhi plays 75% or less today and they happen to advance. You know who they play on Sunday? The Golden State Warriors. And all of a sudden you got Kawhi Leonard going into that series not 100% because you played him today, and before you know it, you look up and you're down 2-0 and he's still not feeling as well as he could. So I like the call by Pop. I understand what they're trying to get accomplished. It's going to be an epic Game 7. I'm already putting it on wax. But the Houston Rockets are going to find a way to win
I was about to say, look, a lot of people killed them for not finding a way to win when Kawhi was on the bench and 39-year-old Manu Ginobili jumped in the Wayback Machine. You cannot lose this game at home tonight without Kawhi Leonard. You just can't.